Welcome to Science in 5. In this video, we're going to talk about solving quadratic equations by factorizing part 2. In the previous video, we looked at scenarios where the coefficient of x squared was 1. In this video, we're looking at scenarios where the coefficient of x squared is not equal to 1. How do we proceed? Well, the first thing we just need to do is, in this case, multiply the first and the last term. The 2 times negative 3 will give you a negative 6. Okay, then I'm going to look for two factors of 6 that give me 5 when I add them. I can come up with 2 and 3, 6 times 1. Remember, when you add them up, you could be adding a positive and a negative number. So you can think of it as also 6 minus 1 equals 5. Okay. Which of these two factors am I going to choose? Well, the original product was a negative. Okay. So which means one of the factors must be a negative. The middle term is a positive. So which means the big factor of the two numbers must be a positive. If I go with positive 3 and negative 2, I will not be able to get 5. If I go with positive 6 and negative 1, I'll be able to get 5. So I'll go with positive 6 and negative 1. So expand the middle term again. Now I need to factorize each of those two terms separately. The first one, I'll have 2x. What remains there is x plus a 3. I'll strive to get x plus 3 in the next bracket by taking out the negative 1. I remain with x plus 3. And all of that is equal to 0. Then I can group 2x and the negative 1. And then the x plus 3. All of that is equal to 0. So which means 2x minus 1 equals 0, or the x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now I solve for the 2x minus 1. I will have 2x is equal to 1. Divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the 2 on the x. I get x equals a half. X plus 3 equals 0. Take the 3 across, you remain with x equals minus 3. Okay, let's do another example. In the next example we have we have 3x squared plus x minus 10 equal to 0. Step 1, negative 10 times 3 gives me negative 30. Two factors of negative 30 that can give me 1 will be 6 and 5. Now, since the middle term is positive, I'm going to go with a positive 6 and a negative 5. So now we expand the middle term. 3x squared plus 6x minus 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. Factor out the first two. 3x, you get x plus 2. Here we can take out a negative 5 and we remain with an x plus 2 is equal to 0. The 3x minus 5 times x plus 2 equals to 0. So here I can have 3x minus 5 equal to 0, or x equals minus 2. Solve here. 3x equals 5 divided by 3. X equals 5 over 3. Okay, I think you got it. At this stage, it's now your turn to practice. My 5 minutes of explaining and talking is up. It's now up to you guys to practice these techniques. Practice makes perfect. Okay, so you're gonna have these questions to practice, these 2 questions to practice, and then from then on we can move on next time to something else about quadratics. So solve for x. Number 1 says 5x squared minus 16x plus 3 equal to 0, and number 2, 4x squared plus 17x minus 15 is equal to 0. Answers will show up in about 30 seconds. If you feel you need more time, just press the pause button, continue with your solutions, and then check the solutions that appear at the end of the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like or comment if you enjoyed this video. You're also free to request a video about a topic in math that you think you need, and will gladly oblige and try to upload the video as soon as possible. Okay, here are the solutions. Remember, if you're not ready, just press the pause button, continue, and then press play when you're done. So number 1, let's multiply the first and the last term. We get 15. Okay, the 2 factors of 15 that will give us 16 are 15 and 1. Okay, but something interesting is happening here now. The middle term is negative, but the last term is positive. Okay, so which means both of my terms must be negative. Okay, both of my terms must be negative for this to work out. So I'm going to have a negative 15 and a negative 1 to give me the negative 16. So both of the terms have to be negative for this to work out. So by expanding the middle term, I have 5x squared minus 15x minus x plus 3 equal to 0. Factorizing by grouping, the 5x here remain with x. In fact, we're not factorizing by grouping, by taking out a common factor. We're going to have x minus 3 there. To remain with x minus 3 here, what we're going to take out here is a negative 1, and then we're going to have x minus 3 equal to 0. The 5x goes to the negative 1, and the x minus 3 goes together, and that is all equal to 0. In the last step, you can see that x equals 3, or the 5x minus 1 is equal to 0. You're going to have 5x equals to 1, therefore x equals 1 over 5. Think you've got it? Okay, fine. Let's continue with the last sum. Okay. The last sum, we got 4x squared plus 17x minus 15 is equal to 0. 4 times 15, that will give me negative 60. It's actually 4 times negative 15. Factors of 60 that give me a difference of a sum of 17. When I add them up, I've got 12 times 5. But the thing about 12 times 5 is that I can see that the last term is negative. So one of these factors has to be negative. The middle term is positive. So it's the big factor that is positive. So 12 minus 5 will give me 7. So 12 and 5 not working. What other factors of 60 can I get? 20 and 3. Middle term is positive, so the big term, the big factor is the positive one. So let's expand that middle term. 4x squared plus 20x minus 3x minus 15 is equal to 0. Common factor here is 4x, remaining with x plus 5. Here I can take out a negative 3, remain with x plus 5, and all of that is equal to 0. So now I have 4x minus 3 and x plus 5 equal to 0. I can see that x equals to negative 5 from this bracket, or 4x equals to a positive 3 and x equals 3 over 4. So there you go, guys, solving quadratic equations by factorizing when the coefficient of x squared is not 1. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, add a comment. See you next time.